this is my 6-month-ish review. This machine camera here, it's a solid camera, guys, and I'm pretty sure you guys saw this, and you probably asking yourself, like, why would I put this in a review video? And yes, this is part of the main reason why I'm making this review. Now, let me tell you guys something, man. I love this camera. Okay, I love it to death. And before I bought it, I actually did a lot of research on there. The X1, X2, X3, and X4. But the reason why I bought the X4, not because I want the latest in new technology. I did a lot of research. I put a lot of time into it. You know, this cost, I picked it up for $550 at Best Buy, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm making use of my money. That's a lot of money, you know, to dish out. And the main reason why I went with this one, besides the technology that is built in there, I really don't care about the numbers, the resolution, which I'm going to talk about that later. But the reason why I bought this camera was all because of this right here, the lens, the dome, whichever way you want to call it. That was the main reason why I bought this camera, guys. So I'm gonna see if I can overlay the video that causes this damage on here now. So I was vlogging. It was a beautiful day, and you know, I got on the bike. I had just gotten off of work and just riding, making some content for you guys. And as I was making a turn, I believe the way I mounted the camera, the arm was too low. I honestly, I don't know what happened. And this is not a manufacturer or anything. This was a user error. Okay, so let me just get out of the way, because this camera is built like a tank. However, it is not close to an action camera. Just want to let you know that. Most people will compare this to an action cam. No, these are two different tools. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I believe the mount came down, or it kind of got loose. Whatever, if you guys saw it in the video, and I made a right turn, and next thing I know, actually I scratched it twice. I didn't even know until the second one. I heard it. I'm like, oh snap! And I kept riding, you know, because I love you guys, man. So when I bought this camera, the guy at Best Buy, I picked it up at Best Buy, by the way, and he was like, hey, Grant, you sure you don't want to get a warranty? And I said, nah, I don't. Most of my cameras that I have, most of my gears, I don't buy no warranty, man. I just free flow, man. But when I brought this camera home and I was playing around with it, I don't know exactly what happened. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I think I need a warranty. So good thing is Best Buy, whatever you buy from Best Buy, you have 14 days to get your warranty, or forget about it. So luckily for me, I was within the 14 days, and bam, I went and got my warranty. So I do have a warranty. If it would have, you know, anything would have happened, I just go back and, you know, just, you know, switch it out and give me a new one. But anyway, so over the time that I've had this camera, the build quality, guys, this is just built like a tank. It's just an amazing. Again, I see most people comparing this to an action cam. No, these are two separate tools. And I'm gonna make a video between this and my DJI Action 4. Okay, I'll do it later. So the build quality, this is built like a tank. I mean, it's all plasticky, but it looks like extremely like some kind of poly. I don't know. But it looks like a hard plastic. So build quality, it's up there, man. I have no complaints about the build quality and the ease of use. So before I started vlogging, I used to have a GoPro. I believe the first gen, and I hated that camera, guys, because the screen was very tiny, and each time you turn the camera off and then you turn it back on, the whole settings is gone. You got to redo it all over again, and it was just pain. You have to reconnect to your phone, and it was just bad. So, guys, when I lost it, I said, man, this is time for me to just let it go and explore, which I'm so happy I did it because it was not cutting because the ease of use was so cumbersome. Like the screen was so tiny and it was bad. But this, if I tell you let me see if I can turn it on here. The ease of use, like once you turn it on, I think you guys can see the lens, which we'll talk about that later, or the dome. But you swipe, from up to down, all the settings, like pretty much the ease of use. I'll give it 10 out of 10, guys, because this is just like the DJI Action 4, the one that I use. It's just very, very, very easy to use. A 1-year-old can pick this camera up and just use it. Ease of use, I'll say 100%. Now, let's talk about the image quality. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen my vlogging, and I use this as a B cam. The image quality is on par. Like this camera right here, it shoot in 360 sphere, okay? And you can shoot in 8K. However, most people get excited because their cameras can shoot in 8K, can shoot in 4K, can shoot in 20K, 12K, and all that kind of stuff. But they don't realize how expensive it gets, in terms of storage. I have over 300 terabyte locally alone, and it fills up like real quick. So personally, I filmed this in 4K because by the time you reframe and you do all the nitty gritty stuff, it probably come down to I would say maybe 2.5 or I don't know 3K, whatever. But it just gives you the flexibility of the So as far as the image quality is concerned, everything about this camera is amazing. I cannot complain about it. And talk about stabilization, guys. This, because it shoots in a 360 sphere, the stabilization is probably the best in the market, period. I don't have much to say. And if you don't believe me, just watch videos on YouTube and even some of my videos. When it comes to stabilization, you will have zero complaints about this camera. So when I was in the quest of buying this camera, I heard a lot of people were talking about overheating and things of that nature. I wasn't very concerned that this is gonna be overheating and it's gonna be blown up or anything like that, because most of the time this sits on my bike, and as I'm going, you have a unlimited airflow. So I've never ever experienced any overheating. At one point, I got off of work in the summertime, and it was, I would say 90 degrees because it can get hot here in Atlanta. And I was heading home, and I guess it was like getting close to 100 degrees. And I ran this camera for pretty much almost 2 hours. It was recording, and I felt nothing. So when it comes to the overheating, I have zero issue. Low light. A lot of people will talk about low light, and they will do some shoot compares, and they will compare this with the X3. Now, let me tell you guys something. Probably should have said this before I even started the video. The reason why I chose this over the X3 and the rest of them, because the X3 is very expensive. I mean, very cheap. I'm sorry. When this came out, it became very cheap. But the only reason why was because of these dome. Let me see if I can take it off. There you go. These dome. Yeah. After I scratched it, when I came home, I went to Best Buy, and actually I went online on my phone, placed an order on one. So when I went there to pick it up, they have a X3, Insta 360 X3 on the box. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I left the store already. So I went back inside the store, and I went back to customer service. I'm like, hold on. I need this lens dome or filter for X4. You think it's gonna fit? To be very honest with you guys, I don't think they know what they're talking about over there. But basically, I think you are able to change the X3 just like what I did, but I believe it has some kind of glue or the way it fit, like you can like change, like lose it and clean it and put it on like what I did. Um, but I think the X3 has is capable of doing pretty much the same thing, you know. And if I would have knew that it was gonna be doing that, I would have bought an X3. By all means, I would have bought it. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But I could have saved myself like $200 or even more, you know. But I'm still happy that I have this. So yeah, that is just by the way. So with a low light, you know, people are, you know, like, oh my God, this is very good in low light. It's better than the X3. It's better than, listen. And I say this, and I'm gonna say it again. It doesn't matter what camera you have. I mean, you can have the most expensive camera. I'm talking about the Arri Alexa or the Red or the Canon, you know, the top end Canon, you know, professional cameras, Sony, Panasonic. If you don't feed those cameras with lighting, your footage will just be, you know, crappy. Period. So if those cameras, even this one that I'm filming on right now, and even that one, if you don't feed them with light, it's gonna look crappy. It's just that simple, you know. So personally, if I want to film in low light, I know exactly what to do. I will end up feeding that scene with a lot of light. Period. If you expect, I mean, I know they have some AIs that analyze it and you know, do magics and all that kind of stuff in there. But really, I have no problem when it comes to low light. Not on this one, not on any camera, because I know those cameras with big sensors, you still have to feed them with light. These are tiny ones. Your cell phones even does better job than, you know, those professional cameras. You know, but once you feed them light, you will have zero issue. And this also shoot in slow motion. Now I don't know. I've never tried it before. But I know it's capable of shooting slow motion. The kind of shoot that I do, it really doesn't require me to do any kind of you know, slow motion or anything like that. So but I know it's capable of shooting. I think the 8K can shoot up to 30 frame per second, and I think 5K will shoot 60. I'm not exactly sure, but I've never tried it, and I have no intention of filming in slow motion on these cameras. Period. If I want to shoot in slow mo, well, it depends on the kind of shoot that you're doing, but personally, I have never tried it. So, in conclusion, what do I think about this camera? I think it's an amazing camera, guys. Will I buy this again? Absolutely. I will buy it again with no hesitation. Now, will I buy the X3? Absolutely. The only reason why I'll choose this over the X3 is because of the Bluetooth technology that is built in. So I can connect my microphone if I'm doing vlogging, and this is a very good camera for vlogging, man. All you got to do is just point it out and just do your thing. Now, I'll buy it again. I'll do it all over again, guys. And I'm looking forward to do more stuff. The only reason why this hasn't been swapped out is because Best Buy doesn't carry it, and Amazon has it in stock. So I placed my order. It's gonna come. Once it comes, I'm gonna switch it out, and I'm gonna be back in business. However, the fact that this is broken, or this, I mean, once I take the cap off, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you can take the cap off. The cap just protect the lens, you know, and then use it. But I just want the extra protection. You guys can imagine if I didn't have this on there, this camera is gonna be ruined forever. There's absolutely nothing you can do. Now, I've seen some guys, you know, switching out the lens cover. I'm not gonna do that. I don't think I'll have that patience. These mechanism and circuit are too small. I don't think I'll have that patience to do it. But what I was trying to say is, the fact that I have a scratch on the lens doesn't mean the camera is trash. You can use this camera as in action cam mode, because both. Okay, let me bring it down. You can use only one lens to film, and it's gonna be like an action cam. Period. So you're not gonna be able to get 360, but you still can use it. So This is very, very versatile. Like I love this camera. Just sit it out there and then forget it. And then once you come home, you can reframe and get the scene that you want, and you are in business. So I will definitely buy this again. I'm gonna do a comparison between this and the action cam, and tell you guys the reason why you cannot compare this to an action cam. Like, it is built like a tank, but the only thing that makes it very vulnerable is your lens. And action cams, you can just throw them out and just kick them, whatever you want to do, they will still survive. This, you're not gonna go far with it. Again, these are all tools. So I would do a comparison with this and my DJI Action 4. I know they have Action 5 over there, and I am not crazy about it. All because if you do a lot of research, you will know that even the bit rate on the Action 4 was higher than the bit rate on the Action 5. And consumers started complaining about it, and DJI went and did a firmware upgrade, and it's a whole lot of stories. But the only way I will upgrade from the 4 to the 5 is because this time you can use two mics to control only one camera, or feed it through one camera. So if you have a second person, it can pick up both audio, rather than filming it separately and then syncing it up in post. The Action 4, you cannot do that. You can only use one mic at a time. So those are the only reason why. But it is really not a deal breaker for me, guys. I love this, and I will do it all over again. So I will have review coming up very shortly. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next time.